What's up, everybody? Make sure I got sound. Make sure I got sound. Yo, yo, yo. All right. We got that figured out. Let's see if we actually get people start popping in here. My page has been shadow banned lately, so it doesn't show up that I'm live. All right, there we go. We got one person. What's up? How you doing? Just making sure I'm not shadow banned. Making sure I'm not shadow banned. All right, so we got a couple things on here, man. I'm gonna cover a few things. One of the things I'm gonna cover is this fucking chatting with rats, chatting with Stacks fucking interview. He did an interview with this dude named Skids. Skids says he was an enforcer for the Pagans. So I want to point out to people that the Pagans allow police officers in their fucking club. All right. All right, there's a guy named Gorilla. Gorilla is an ex-fucking Philadelphia police officer. What's up? Oh, he said, "What's up, Flames? What do you think about the Predator?" I think the Predator catching channels are all right. All right. I don't have anything against them going after predators. My problem is that they work with in conjunction with the police. Like, you know what I mean? And then when they catch these people, they turn them over to the police. The police give them a slap on the wrist and then they let them go. So, I mean, is it predator hunting? I don't really think so. I think real predator hunters are the ones that fucking find them, put something in their food, and they're not around anymore. I think that's the real predator finder. But I mean, I appreciate what they're doing. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't appreciate what they're doing. I definitely appreciate what they're doing. All right, I'm breaking up. All right, hold on. It's because my internet's probably fucked up. Hold on a second. Let me turn the internet off. All right. How's that? Is that better? Let me see what this feed looks like. Let me see what this feed looks like. Is that better? You guys hear me better? Love you guys. Gotta let me know. I don't know. Hold on a second. Yeah, they've been fucking with my channel a lot lately, y'all. So, all right. Yeah, they've been fucking with my channel a lot lately. My lives haven't been showing up. People can't see that I'm live. So yeah, these kinds of things are gonna happen when you get shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. So what that means is that yeah, exactly. So the people who are the real heroes are the ones that are putting something in their food and getting them out of here, giving them a hot shot, or you know what I mean. Those are the real heroes. But you know, like me, I burned one of their faces off. I don't care what nobody says. That dude was a sex offender. He had no business in that halfway house. He had no business in that halfway house. All right, so if I'm in a halfway house and there's a guy in there, he told me that his wife left him when she found out what he did. All right, to me that's a sex offender. All right, that's like so, and he told me that, and he was in the halfway house with us. Look, if you're in like a prison halfway house and you see people in there that don't look like they belong, there's a reason why they don't look like they belong, because they're fucking weirdos, man. If they don't look like they're a criminal and they're hanging around criminals, they're either like sex offenders or cops. Okay? So just so you guys know, I don't know. The guy might have been a cop. I don't fucking know. But I do know that he told me that his fucking wife left him as soon as she found out what he did. And I burned his face off. You know, he was making fun of me. I burned his face off. But anyways, so to go back to what you said, somebody asked me, who asked me? Somebody asked me about the Predator channels. So they work with the cops, dude. So I'm not supporting people working with the police, all right? Because all they do, and then here's another thing I want to show you guys. So what they do, these predator hunters, all you see is the video when they catch the guy, but they sit and pretend to be like fucking 12-year-old girls and shit and talk about sexual shit on the phone with these guys before they get them. You know how fucking weird that is? Like, why are they sit back and they look, and I get it. These guys are fucking sex offenders. They got those tendencies. But they jump into these chat rooms, these predator hunters, they jump into these chat rooms and they fish for these fucking weirdos. And then when they get one, they talk about like sexual shit as if they're a 12-year-old, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even fucking what's his nuts, the Predator catcher. Anyways, that's how that game works. That's how the Predator catchers, that's how they catch them. They pretend to be 12-year-old girls or 12-year-old boys and talk about sexual shit on the phone with adults, man. That's just fucking weird. It's weird. I get it. Like the end result is to catch. Yeah, right there. A lot of these Predator catchers like Ramey and a few others got exposed. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just weird to me. Like, first of all, you're working with the cops. And then second of all, like they got to pretend that they're like 12-year-old girls and talk about sexual shit. That's what that is. That's fucking weird. Like, even the fucking cops that do that. Oh, hold on. I'm not even plugged in. Like, even the hold on a second. That's why you guys couldn't hear me. Like, even the cops that saying that shit's fucking weird. That shit is super fucking weird. Let me make sure I still got sound. Yeah, they sit and they reel them in. They reel them in. Yeah, they sit and they. All right, they reel them in though. That's how that Predator hunter shit works, y'all. So it's weird. It's really weird. It's really fucking weird. Like, why would you act like you're a 12-year-old girl? Like, I don't know. That shit's really weird. So yeah, I'm not in support of that shit. I'm just gonna come out and say, you asked me a question. I'm not in support of that shit. Go find out who first of all, if somebody's a sex offender and somebody rapes a little girl or, a boy, whatever, it is on the family. It is on the family to go handle that. It is on the family to go handle that. It's not on some cop. It's not on some fucking some vigilante. It's on you. If you are the man in a family and a child gets fucked with or touched, it's on you as a man to go handle that. You can't depend on the police, man. Not with sexual shit. Maybe down south it might be a little different. But in Minnesota, they give these fucking sex offenders a slap on the wrist and they kick them right back out to the street. So by calling the cops and getting the cops involved, you're not doing anything, really. The cops can't do shit. Their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. So unless you're going to tie a motherfucker to a tree and set him on fire, just stay out of it. Because that's what needs to happen to these sex offenders. All right, that's what needs to happen. Well, put them in the wood chipper, blah, blah, blah. He said that because it sounds good or whatever. But the real way to get rid of them is tie them to a tree and set them on fire. That's the real way to get rid of them, the sex offenders, the child molesters. You know what I mean? Like, tie them to a fucking tree and set them on fire. Even guys that rape women, like, tie them to a tree and set them on fire. It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. The family needs to be the ones doing that, not some random fucking person in a hotel room pretending to be a 12-year-old. It's weird. It's weird. The whole predator hunting thing is weird because, again, I'm telling y'all, and I'm going to get into my main material. What they do is those predators, the predator hunters, they sit and they pretend to be 12-year-old girls. They sit in a hotel room and they pretend to be 12-year-old girls until they can find someone to bite. And then they find someone to bite and they set them up. That's not that to me, like, you just entrapped them. Like, I get it. He's a sex offender. You're a 12-year-old, but I don't know. It's just the whole fucking thing is weird. All right, so we got a couple of things to cover. One of these things I wanted to cover. So are people familiar with the Pagans Motorcycle Club? The Pagans Motorcycle Club I'm going to cover them today. They got a guy named Gorilla. All right. Gorilla was the sergeant of arms and ultimately ended up being the president of the Pagans. And he was a cop. All right. So the Pagans let former police officers into their club. I repeat, the Pagans of Philadelphia, all right, of Pennsylvania, whatever, they allowed a fucking police officer into their ranks. All right. So Ratting with Rats brought an ex-pagan on his show. And I want y'all to listen to this. All right? Because even this guy admits that he says his uncle and his brother were cops. His uncle and his brother were cops. Look, if you got that many fucking cops in your family, you should not be allowed to be in an outlaw motorcycle club. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man, too. The people that are working and y'all that tune into my podcast, I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I don't come on here and say that a lot, but I really appreciate the authentic, thoroughbred motherfuckers that come on here and listen to my shit and know that it's true. I appreciate y'all. But today, the pagans are on the chopping block. All right, the pagans are on the chopping block. They let a police officer join. Gorilla. All right, this guy right here. He's famous too. He's a famous cop. All right, this guy. All right, this guy right here. Stephen Gorilla. Ex-Philly cop to serve time for shooting, stabbing. So this is him right here. All right. A former Philadelphia police officer has been sentenced to at least 3 years in prison for shooting and stabbing another man in what authorities say was a dispute over leadership of their chapter of the Pagans Motorcycle Club. So they're arguing over who's going to be the leader of the chapter, and a cop, Stephen Gorilla Mondavreen. I don't know how to pronounce this. Mondavreen. Stephen Gorilla Mondavreen pleaded guilty Monday to aggravated assault and firearms offenses in the January 2008 attack on Timothy Casual Flood. Prosecutors dropped an attempted murder charge in exchange for Mondavreen's plea. Authorities say Flood was trying to force Mondavreen from the gang, prompting Mondavreen to attack him inside a Northeast Philadelphia home used as a gang clubhouse. Flood initially told police he'd been attacked in a bar parking lot. Mondavreen was fired from the Philadelphia Police Department after he was accused of protecting gamblers in 1982. The charges were later dropped. All right, so that's a police officer. All right, the Pagans let a police officer join their club. So this is an ex-Pagans member talking about how his family was all cops. If you come from a family of police officers, look, I'm not in one of these clubs, but if I was a member of one of these clubs, you're not joining if you have families that are cops, dude. You're not. What's up, Roscoe? You're not joining an outlaw motorcycle club that I'm a part of. If I was a part of one, you're not joining if your entire family was cops. Why do people think this is okay? And then they go and they snitch on you like that. They don't want to go do their time. They snitch like that. Come on, man. All right, so listen to this. Come on, man. If you didn't file with... All right, they don't want to go do their time. They snitch. Hold on. Free in the app. If you didn't file with us last year, just file with Turbo. So check this out.
Guy wearing support colors. Area for independent.
So this is Ratting with Rats. And all he does is bring dropouts on his fucking show, man. So this guy right here, this guy's a pagan dropout, right? And he's talking about how his entire family was cops. First, before he gets to his entire family being cops, though, he talks on the internet about a fucking murder. Just this shit. These are the people that Bill Stacks brings on his show. Dropouts, fucking rats, pieces of shit. But I just want to point out that the Pagans Motorcycle Club allows police officers in their ranks.
Riders and clubs as well. They would ride over, take a picture at a bar, and then put it on a Facebook page if they could do it, and then head quickly back over to New Jersey. I don't have time for that kind of games. But
so he's on here saying that there's that Hell's Angels never come to Philadelphia. They've never in 30 years been to Philadelphia. Shut the fuck up, dude. All right, you guys don't have it sewed up like that. You're trying to tell me not a single Hell's Angel has ever driven through Philadelphia besides a bridge you guys tell them to? Listen to this bullshit come out of this cocksucker's mouth.
To date, I've never run into a Hell's Angels member in the city of Philadelphia wearing his colors. I've seen a guy wearing support colors. I was on a run from Alberta, Canada, where they have a stronghold. I ran into him in Philadelphia back when I was a Northeast Ride.
So right there, Stack showed a patch of a fucking Hell's Angels, Pennsylvania. So are you trying to tell me that every single fucking Hell's Angel that is in Pennsylvania has to avoid Philadelphia because of you? That's what you're trying to convince people of, that nobody will go to Philadelphia because of the Pagan motorcycle. Look, man, the Pagans, you guys are fucking police officers. You guys have police officers in your ranks. Okay? There's nothing tough about you. I get some cops are tough, and they'll kick your door and they'll beat the fuck out of you. They'll handcuff you, they'll smash your face in, knock all your teeth out. I get it. Cops will do that kind of shit. I get that, but that does not make you tough. That does not make you tough. You have police officers in your ranks in the Pagans. Here you go.
And he was down here hiding out. That was all he was doing. Yeah, they're not well liked here. They're not welcome here, and I don't think they have any interest on the things that would be necessary for them to take a stronghold of any kind in Philadelphia.
So you weren't a pagan at this time, but do you remember when Tommy left the Pagans and joined the Angels?
I do. I don't particularly remember him leaving the Pagans, as I wasn't that closely associated. I knew a couple of guys and I hung out with them, but I didn't do anything club event at the time. But I don't think there's anybody in the city that isn't familiar with what happened there.
And then eventually they disband their clubhouse and they move out of the city of
Never to repeat. Never to repeat.
Do you think they'll ever have another clubhouse there in the future?
No, would be my gut reaction. What I would have to put an asterisk next to that is the way that the laws are being written now. This is not the same lifestyle as it once was, and that's sad. It is, because we had our own lifestyle. There was never a time when a brother would pick up a phone and hit 911. We don't invite the police into any of our problems. We handle our own. I can't say the same for the civilian population. Sometimes they call, they get scared, and they call and they invite them into situations. That happens. But on the whole, the laws have changed now to the framework of what's being done locally. I mean, 3 people could concede that they're going to steal the hat off someone's head, and it's 25 years apiece for RICO charges. They've really, when I say outlaws, they've just made it so difficult for the most peaceful party could turn into something that it was never meant to be. And not off violence, just off of, you've seen it happen with my case, words. Words in this country used to be something that we were free to use. That's no longer the case.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. What a great day. What a no-get day. What a messed up.
Only pay for what you...
You get a punch, you get attacked by somebody in a bar, you could be just John Civilian. And out of fear and anger, you defend yourself and you say some bad words, and you'll wind up with a hate crime in an additional 15 years now. And there used to be a time when if I took a ride up to Connecticut and you and I had words in a bar, we could step in a parking lot and handle it like men. And I'll tell you right now, though, throughout my 55 years on the planet, some of my closest friends I met this way. Group get into a scuffle in a bar, and next thing you know, punches are being thrown, and then 10 minutes later, shots are being done, and we're exchanging phone numbers, and we hang out forever as great friends. And that's something that's only built inside of a club framework or military. And military guys will tell you the same stories all over the world. When guys went to Germany, they have run-ins with Germans over there, and or wherever they may be, and that's how people get to know one another. That's part of communication. It's part of the natural instinct that man has. And what the police have done now is you and I get in a scuffle, and we go back in, they show up behind us and say, you two were the guys wrestling in the parking lot. Oh, no, we're good now. We got over it. Yeah, well, too bad. We're going to press charges now and make an issue out of it. And it becomes, that's what they're doing to make numbers for themselves. The inflated crime numbers that we see in America. And of course.
So part of the reason why I'm showing this, what's up, 187? Part of the reason why I'm showing this, I want you guys to see how this guy breaks down how the inner workings of law enforcement go. And then he, while he's talking about law enforcement and how law enforcement work, he mentions that his uncle and his brother, he says his uncle raised him. So he was raised by a cop, and his brother's a cop. All right. And this guy's a fucking pagan.
You know, I'm not talking about these weird shootings and God bless all those people that lose lives. How anybody can target children and innocent people is beyond me. I don't understand it. But the regular crime numbers in every city in America are inflated so badly and so slantedly, and it's to do nothing but drum up more budgets for these headed to being paramilitary organizations that we like to call local police. And, you know, I'm not saying there's not good I don't badmouth police for a living. I was raised by an uncle. I didn't have a father, as I mentioned, and my uncle and my cousin were very well-known cops in New Jersey. And but that was a different time. My uncle and my cousin were very well-known cops in New Jersey. And my uncle and my cousin were very well-known cops in New Jersey. And but that was a different time. That was when that was a job. Now it's more of a.
You guys notice how Stacks didn't say anything to him? You notice how he didn't say anything to him when he said that his entire family was cops? Why are you in an outlaw motorcycle group if your fucking entire family is cops? All right, it's the pagans right here.
It's more of an organization that, you know, if I write up things a certain way over 12 months, when my town does its budget hearing, they're going to see crime differently than it really is, and I can get my two cousins jobs. And now them guys will get in, and they got their applications at the ready. You know what I mean? Next budget hearing, when they hear all the arrests we made, there might be no convictions behind any of those arrests. But I know from lifelong friends in the Philadelphia Police Department, they'll write up a guy with a crack pipe, which, you know, there used to be millions of them sleeping homeless in the streets. They'll write a guy up as a police department. They'll write up a guy from lifelong friends in the Philadelphia Police Department, lifelong friends in the Philadelphia Police Department. They'll write up a guy with a crack pipe.
So you see what I'm saying here, guys? This guy has lifelong friends. This guy had lifelong friends in the police department. You guys listening to that? That's why you don't even cross that line. You can't even cross that line. Look, again, as I always say on here, don't commit crimes. Don't commit crimes. If you commit them by yourself. All right? And if you hang out with people that commit crimes, then you're going to go to prison as well. All right? So stay away from those two things. All right? But if you're going to be involved in this shit, I need y'all to know the truth of it. All right? You do not rub shoulders with the fucking police. Because look at how this guy is talking. His uncle was a cop. His brother was a cop. All of his buddies. He's got a whole bunch of buddies in the Philadelphia Police Department. He calls them lifelong friends. This is the Pagans Motorcycle Club. These are the same people. All right. These are the same people that are always in the news for shooting at each other and shooting people and stabbing people and allegedly, you know, and then they work with the police. Okay. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. You do not rub shoulders with law enforcement. Okay. And if you do, it should be a red flag. So let's keep on listening. This is the Pagans I'm covering now. They work with the police. They have actual police officers that get patches in the Pagans. And this is ratting with rats.
Which, you know, there used to be millions of them sleeping homeless in the streets. They'll write a guy up as a kingpin drug dealer.
Okay, guys, your car insurance company does not want you to know you do this.
Big chunk of your month. All kind of slanted charges. There might be 15 charges on a simple paraphernalia situation. That case will never make it to court. At the end of the day, the guy gets let go over a $50 fine. But when the city hall sees the arrest, they don't know what happened with it.
Yeah.
They don't know if it was dismissed. So they're writing their own checks. And I understand it. You know, it makes perfect sense as a cop. You know, you're going to get paid more every year, and you're going to hire more guys, and you're going to get better equipment, and you're going to get better.
Look how he just admitted he's a cop. You guys see that? Look at how he just admitted that he's a cop. I'm going to play that again. You got to listen to what people say, man.
And I understand it. You know, it makes perfect sense as a cop. You know, you're going to get paid more every year, and you're going to hire more guys. I understand it. You know, it makes perfect sense as a cop. You know, you're going to get paid more every year, and you're going to hire more guys. I understand it. You know, it makes perfect sense as a cop. You know, you're going to get paid more every year.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? The only reason why he's talking like that is because he's a cop, because he's comfortable with law enforcement. He's comfortable with the cops. All right. That's what that is right there. All right. So I'm going to be doing more of this. I'm going to be watching more interviews from the Pagans, because I think it's real interesting that they call themselves 1%ers, which is supposed to mean that you don't interact with law enforcement and you live outside the law, but they have cops in their ranks. This guy's a fucking pagan, and he came on chatting with Stacks, and he's talking about what the cops are going to do, how cops are thinking. All his buddies are cops. His family's all cops. Okay? That's why you motherfuckers are getting popped the way that you are. That's why the feds, and you can't move this way or that way without the feds knowing where you're at and coming and attacking your toy drives and shit, because motherfuckers are leaking shit to the feds. You cannot rub shoulders with the police, man. You cannot rub shoulders with the police. All right. And if you do rub shoulders with the police, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get fucked over. You're going to get RICO'd. All right. So let's keep listening.
You're going to hire more guys, and you're going to get better equipment, and you're going to get better exposure. And I'm not saying some of these guys aren't heroes. I'm not taking away from any of that. You know, certainly they are. And they put their lives out there every day. I got respect for that. And I'm not saying we need anarchy in this country. And I'm not asking for the Pagans to take control or anything silly like that. I'm just saying it's just overinflated. And it keeps the Brady Bunch parents who don't leave the house much and just watch these television shows and these local news networks, who are just fed this footage day in and day out in these stories. And they read the headline. They never care what happened with the case behind it, and just go, oh my God, we have a problem in this city. We have a problem in this city. And, it's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. If anything, we've become watered down as a humanity. Violence is really not, kids today can't fight. You show me 2 teenage kids fighting anywhere in America that are doing it right, and I'll show you something that's very rare to see on tape, and which is maybe why they're picking up guns. And they're not very much skilled at using those either.
No.
I'm not here to answer the problems of the world, but I'm here to tell you that's how the business of policing works. And it goes from the cop that's putting the handcuffs on you all the way down to the teletype girl in the county jail, the court staff, the hundreds of thousands of people who've taken up careers in corrections and are now driving around in Porsches and Escalades. That used to be a regular guy job. And now it's become a free way to just get lots of money by warehousing people.
So is it just me, or does this seem like this guy's interviewing a cop? He's interviewing a cop. All he's talked about so far is cops, is cops. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, just wanted to point that out. So let's go check. Let's go look around the horn, man. See what other shit we got going on. Not going to be on here very long. What up? What up? What up? So what is this right here?
So we need to talk about
What is this? Have people seen this already?
Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino used to be in the Secret Service. He was actually on Obama's protection detail. Then he became a podcaster. And when he was a podcaster, he talked a lot of that real good shit about draining the swamp and exposing the elite pedophiles. Then the Trump administration put him into the FBI with Kash Patel, where he actually had some authority and power to be able to do the things that he had been talking about for so long. But what did he do? Nothing but feed us Fed slop ass narratives. Now that he's left the FBI in absolute shame and disgrace, he said that he's made it his new mission to tear apart the narratives of these black pill podcasters, which are basically just people who are going against the.
He's talking about you fucking fag. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about you. That's exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about you. And this dude was like all about Dan Bongino. He was all about Dan Bongino. Now he's talking shit about him.
Narrative that we're being fed and asking questions about what's really going on in this country. I don't know who neutered Dan or what medical process they used to suck every single shred of testosterone out of this dude's body. I do know a little something about the temperature on the internet right now. If you are exposed as an inauthentic shill, literally nobody is going to want to fuck with you anymore. He had a chance to do something real, he failed, and now he needs to slink off into obscurity, which is where he belongs. Well, what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments. So we need to talk about Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino used to be in the Secret Service. He was actually on Obama's protection detail. Then he became a podcaster. And when he was a podcaster, he talked a lot of that real good shit about draining the swamp and exposing the elite pedophiles. Then the Trump administration put him into the FBI with Kash Patel, where he actually had some authority and power to be able to do the things that he had been talking about for so long. But what did he do? Nothing but feed us fed slop ass narratives. Now that he's left the FBI in absolute shame and disgrace, he said that he's made it his new mission to tear apart the narratives of these black pill podcasters, which are basically just people who are going against the narrative that we're being fed and asking questions about what's really going on in this country. I don't know who neutered Dan or what medical process they used to suck every single shred of testosterone out of this dude's body. I do know a little something about the temperature on the internet right now. If you are exposed as an inauthentic shill, literally nobody is going to want to fuck with you anymore. He had a chance to do something real, he failed, and now he needs to slink off into obscurity, which is where he belongs. Well, what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments. So we need to talk about Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino used to be in the Secret Service. He was actually on Obama's protection detail. Then he became a podcaster. And when he was a podcaster, he talked a lot of that real good shit about draining the swamp and exposing the elite pedophiles. Then the Trump administration put him into the FBI with Kash Patel. All
right. What's up? Feeling awesome, man. I appreciate you joining us. So the reason why I had that on right there, the reason why I had JD DeLay right on there, JD DeLay used to be cool with Dan Bongino. Used to be cool with him, but now all of a sudden he's not and he wants to talk shit. Look, JD DeLay, man, you're a fucking fag. You're a liar. You don't even tell people who you really are. If you want us to get on here and talk shit about people, you have to tell people who you really are. That's how this works. You have to tell people who you really are. Who the fuck are you to talk shit about Dan Bongino? A CIA member. He's probably definitely got bodies under his fuck. Like, what the fuck? Who are you to talk shit about Dan Bongino? I'm just curious. How's that work? And then he posted, what is this thing? Look at how he disrespects this guy.
So we need to talk about Dan
Bongino. He posts this picture right here of Dan Bongino, Jeffrey Epstein. Captain Israel saves the day. Why are you posting shit like that about Dan? First of all, Dan Bongino would beat the fuck out of you, JD DeLay. I want to see that fight. Dan Bongino versus JD DeLay. All right. Dan Bongino would beat the fuck out of you, man. You're a cracked out fucking weirdo. You're back on drugs, obviously. You know what I mean? 50-year-old men don't stay cut up like that without drugs. You're on drugs. And you're 50 years old, JD DeLay. And you're fucking, you're using this as a backdrop for your conversation. You're a 50-year-old man, JD DeLay. You're 50 years old, dude. All right? Start fucking acting like it. Dan Bongino would beat the fuck out of you. You guys put in the comments, man, who you got? I got my money on Dan Bongino versus JD DeLay. Let's see if JD DeLay will actually take that or if he'll just sit back and talk shit.
So we need to talk about.
All right? So there we go. That's what Dan Bongino versus JD DeLay. Dan Bongino versus JD DeLay. See if people are in here. Yeah. And this is the Cash App. I'm not begging. Hold on a second. Is it one S or two S's? All right, I'm not begging at all, man, but if you guys want to make a donation, Right there, Lil Miss 333 at Cash App. All right. There you go. That's my wife's Cash App. Anything you guys want to donate will help. But I'm not coming on here and begging for donations, all right? Just so y'all know. What do you say? Fed beats rat. Yeah, I mean, Dan Bongino would beat the fuck out of JD DeLay. We would beat the fuck out of him, dude. Absolutely. All right, so let's get back here. Let's get back here to this shit. This is Ratting with Rats, and he's interrogating, or he's questioning a guy that says that all they're doing is talking about the cops over here. All right, I'm gonna let you guys know. These are the people that come on these shows. All right, this guy is a fucking pagan. He's a pagan, and all he's talking about this entire interview is the cops.
And
Get me from it.
yeah, you can draw lines, Germany off this. I know that sounds drastic, but I mean, is it really? Is it really? It's not the gruesome, murder of thousands of people. I understand that, but you're literally raising these people in cages and having their families pay ransom through Globotel. I know Globotel. Who runs every jail in America and that's your telephone calls home. Billions of dollars, because it's in essence, it's ransom is what it is. It's a slow way of paying ransom on getting your loved one home or communicating with your father in jail or your son in jail. And you're seeing a direct result of that on the streets of America with these adult males that are doing their time in prison, and their kids are being raised without fathers. It's hurtful. It's hurtful to the society. It's where it all began. It's where it's all gone wrong. And all
right, I'm confused. So far, this guy's on here on Ratting with Rats, and he's a pagan member. I want to make everybody clear because we got some new people in here. The Pagans Motorcycle Club has cops in their ranks, police officers. They allow police officers to patch into their outlaw motorcycle club. Okay, this guy's one of them. Ratting with Rats here, and all he's doing is talking about the police. And then now he's talking about why people are locked up. You know why people are locked up? Because of the police. Because of the fucking police. That's why. All right, let's keep watching.
we don't seem to be doing anything to correct it. We seem to be just making it more and more of a standpoint that the cops and the judicial systems are the number one business in America, man. Warehousing people. And people are jumping on board with it. Corporations are getting behind it, privatizing jails. If you said it 50, 60 years ago, you'd be called. But, I guess if you dress up anything in the right marketing and play the right song behind it in America, people will go for it. It's wrong. And in my case, is a perfect example of it. It's a perfect example of a cop that was just out of control.
Now, when you were prospecting, did you have any run-ins with the law?
I did not. Never had. Here in the city of Philadelphia, they'll beep a siren at us. They wave. There was a time, I'm going to say it was 2020, when the New Hampshire police picked up a flyer from the Hells Angels. And it was calling for the on-site shooting of any Pagans members. And it went out nation.
Okay, listen to this right here. Listen to that right there. You guys see that? You guys see that? Look, I don't have guests, but eventually, if I do, I might eventually do guests. All right, eventually. I'm not really. I can't think of anybody I want to interview right now. All my friends and people who would come on here don't want to be on the internet talking about this shit. They don't want to get involved, right? All my friends are real outlaws. I'm not I got a couple friends that are fucking pencil pushers or whatever, never been in trouble in their life, and that's fine. But all my real friends are outlaws, criminals, people been locked up before. The majority of them turn their lives around. Okay, the majority of my friends turn their lives around. But I'm not befriending these types of motherfuckers. But chatting with Stacks, anybody who'll come on, he'll bring them on. Anybody. Fucking anybody. I think I might be one of the only solid people he brought on his fucking show. And I had no idea about that. I should have paid more attention to the landscape. But why isn't he interrupting this guy and telling him he's just letting this guy talk about the police and his family's in the police. And now he's letting him talk about the Hells Angels putting a hit out on the Pagans. Now, this is all alleged. I'm not saying this happened. I don't believe it ever did. All right. It's a lie. But chatting with Stacks is letting this guy come on his fucking show and talk about a hit that was put on the Pagans. All right. Listen to what I'm saying. An alleged hit that was put on the Hells. Or yeah, that was put on the Pagans. He's coming on a fucking federal podcast talking about a hit. All right. Listen to this shit. This is why you don't bring cops on your fucking show. But Stacks is a cop himself.
And why I do all this local state police, and it was passed on to myself. And as sergeant, we took measures here. Orders were given for guys to wear vests. No one wears colors and rides alone. You know, but for a felon, wearing a bulletproof vest is as bad as carrying an AK-47. That'll get you 15 years just as quickly as a gun will. I remember the flyer. I think I still have it somewhere.
Listen to how cowardly that sounds. He said when they found out that the Hells Angels were out to get him, that they all wore they never wore their colors. The fuck? Listen to how pussy that sounds. They're about to go to war and they're saying, no, don't wear your colors. We got to go hide. We got to go hide. That's what he just said. He said they were looking for him and they had it. And I'm saying this is all what he's saying. I'm not saying this is true, but according to this guy, the fucking Hells Angels had a hit out on all of them, according to him. And they put out a thing saying that you can't wear your colors and you can't roll by yourself and you have to wear a bulletproof vest. How is that not all coward shit? If you know somebody's looking for you, somebody's coming to get you, and I'm not saying they were, this is what he said, but if you know someone's looking for you, someone's coming to get, you better be ready, motherfucker. You better be ready. Especially you run around acting like you're some fucking big tough guy outlaw with a diamond patch on. You better be ready. Fuck you mean? Fuck you mean? I bet. And then the other thing is, guess who gave him a tip that the Hells Angels were coming to get him? The cops. They got a tip from the fucking police. All right? Listen to this shit.
My phone and reading that, and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to make the average idiot strap two guns to his hip and go out looking for them, and the police are going to jump every one of us, was when my initial gut reaction was. And instead it wasn't. You know, I rode around the city wide open. That's me. I'm not going to hide from anybody at any time. I didn't ride with a partner. I rode alone. I rode colors. I'm just going to do all those things. They're not going to change the way that I do anything. No one will ever do that.
I started the company December 4th of 2004 and just have never looked back since. I love helping people. And that is both from an employee standpoint and giving them a place to work that they enjoy, love, and feel comfortable coming to every day. I love.
But you were a member at the time, right?
I was a member when this flyer went out. Yeah. I was.
All right, you see that? Look at that. Look at that. You see this patch on his shirt? It says Omerta. You know what Omerta means? Omerta means that you don't talk to the fucking cops. How do you have an Omerta patch on when you work with the police? Your uncle's a cop. Every Thanksgiving, you go hang out with the police. How does that work? How does that work? How the fuck are you Omerta? Omerta. The guy's got a patch on his fucking jacket that says Omerta. How the fuck are you Omerta when you rub shoulders with the cops? There is no way anybody can convince me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Even if you're paying the cops off to look the other way. That's fucking sketchy, dude. You're working with them. There's a line in the sand. Us against them. Us against them. There is no paying the police off and being their fucking buddy. There is no my uncle's a fucking police officer, my cousin's a cop. Then get the fuck away from me. All this bullshit is bullshit. It's us against them. There's no barbecues with the police. You don't toast a fucking cop. Toast to that. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on. And specifically the ones I'm focusing on right now is the pagans, because they allow actual police. I am upset, Caleb. I am upset because I can't believe people let this shit happen. You are not a criminal. You are not an outlaw. If you allow cops around you, you are not a criminal. You are not an outlaw. Cops are not supposed to be around us. So this bullshit where people say that they're paying them and that it's all to cover up them snitching. It's a two-way street. You think that they got the information about the Hells Angels coming to get them from the cops, and then the cops didn't want information in return? And this is on the Chat with Stack show. These aren't even like charges yet. People haven't even been charged. People haven't even been convicted. And he's on here letting this guy talk about when the Hells Angels put a hit out on him and they found out by the cops. This is Chatting with Stacks. This is the guy that y'all go to for your biker news. Get the fuck out of here. Vegas profile stories. Get the fuck out of here. That guy's a Fed. He posted on his thing. Jerry Childress, he posted on his fucking thing a video where he says the cops paid him to take a video down. No, that means you're a cop. That means you're a Fed. How do you have them kinds of connections where the Feds are hitting you up and, oh, hey, buddy, I'll give you $2,000 to take a video down? No, you know the cops, bro. You know them. You work with them. Let's continue. You're goddamn right I'm upset.
I was a young member at the time, and say it was 2020. I remember it pretty distinctly. I remember where I was when I was a flyer.
What year did you join the Pagans?
I became a pagan on April 3rd of 2020. So I remember it being the summer of 2020 that I got this flyer, and I'd have to go through my phone, which nobody wants to see me do that for hours. But I will find it and I'll pass it along to you when I do.
Okay.
And the Philadelphia police, pull up. You guys good to see you out here, man. Because they had targeted, whoever released that press release had targeted law enforcement clubs that also fail to fall under the regime of that club, can also be treated in the same regards as all pagan members. And, the legitimacy of that letter, whether or not it was, that's not for me to decipher. The safety of the members around me were the only care I had in the world, that to be treated in the same regards as all pagan members. The press release had targeted law enforcement clubs that also fail to fall under the regime of that club.
Boom. Did you see that right there? So there was a hit out on the cops and the pagans, according to him. That's what he just said. That they were going to go after the law enforcement clubs. Why the fuck is even a law enforcement club? I don't even understand that shit. I don't even understand that. Like if cops want to have bikes or whatever, let them have bikes. But how do they got a club? How does law enforcement have a motorcycle club? Are you fucking kidding me? No, they don't. They don't. They fucking don't. I don't care what nobody says. There is no such thing as a law enforcement motorcycle club. No such thing. There's just cops on bikes. You guys don't have a fucking club. You guys aren't a part. See, that's the thing. The cops want to lock us all up for doing shit. We get covered in tattoos, right? We get covered in Used to be only the outlaws were covered in tattoos. Now you go to jail or prison and all the cops got tattoos. I'm surprised the cops don't have face tattoos. That's not the way this is supposed to be. All right? And then the cops want to act like they're cool, so they start motorcycle clubs? Are you out of your fucking mind? There's no such thing as a 99% club. Except for the law-abiding citizens, all right? Those are the law-abiding citizens. My bad. There is. Law-abiding citizens is 99%. The cops are not 99%ers. Let me make this very clear for everybody in the back. Cops are not 99%ers. 99%ers are law-abiding citizens. That's not a cop. That is not a police officer. That's not a Fed. That's not an ATF agent. That's not an FBI agent. As soon as you start being a cop or a Fed or any of that shit, As soon as you start being a cop or any of that shit, that's what you are. Me, I'm not talking to you. I got nothing to say to you. And he said there's gay clubs too. It's the same thing. Cop club, gay club is the same thing. Miami Beach. Miami's weird as fuck. So I'm not talking like whatever. Maybe they do got it down there. Miami's weird as fuck. I don't know. You guys got a lot of weird shit that happens in Miami. So let's get back to this. It's almost over.
Can also be treated in the same regards as all pagan members. And, the legitimacy of that letter.
Notice right here, he says that all the cops were being targeted and so are the pagan members. Why are the pagans and the cops both being targeted at the same time? Think about that. Think about that. Because the pagans allow cops in their fucking ranks.
And they, you guys good? It's good to see you out here, man. Because they had targeted, whoever released that press release had targeted law enforcement clubs that also fail to fall under the regime of that club, can also be treated in the same regards as all pagan members. And, the legitimacy of that letter, whether or not it was, that's not for me to decipher. The safety of the members around me were the only care I had in the world at that time when that went out. But for it to come from the state police and then come through the channels that it came through with our club and then wind up directly in my hands, I don't have any kind of authority I had in the world at that time when that went out. But for it to come from the state police and then come through the channels that it came through with our club, I had in the world at that time when that went out. But for it to come from the state police and then come through the channels that it came through with our club and then wind up I had in the world at that time when that went out. But for it to come from the state.
Do you guys hear that right there? That's him admitting that they work with the cops. That's him admitting that they work with the cops. If you're getting messages from the fucking state police, you're working with the cops. And you can't convince me any different. Right there. Pagan member saying they work with the state police. You're a snitch. Your entire fucking club is snitches. You guys are working with police. He just said that you guys work with the state police. One more time.
The safety of the members around me were the only care I had in the world at that time when that went out. But for it to come from the state police and then come through the channels that it came through with our club and then wind up directly in my hands, I don't have any kind of authority to question whether or not it's real. And I don't think anybody would be a fool to think twice on any kind of threat like that.
And he just said he doesn't have any authority to ask questions. Look at who are these motherfuckers that you guys get in these clubs, man?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. And, it's an easy thing to put on paper and put out there and strike fear in people and get people aggravated. But at the end of the day, once again, nothing happened.
So what was it like when you finally got your patch?
All right, so that was Ratting with Rats, just so everybody knows. I'm going to start covering that dude a little bit more often. Yeah, that's Ratting with Rats. So the guy fucking, he just admitted that the pagans work with the cops, y'all. All right? Just right there. That's all you have to do is watch these interviews and watch how these motherfuckers talk. And he just said that he got a message from the state police. All right? If you are so close with the cops that you're getting messages from them, there's something wrong. There's something terribly wrong. And again, I always have to tell people this, okay? Don't commit crimes. If you do it by yourself. Don't be around people that commit crimes. Those are the two rules to staying the fuck out of trouble. But if you're going to be out here and be in the mix, man, if you're going to be in the mix, know the rules. There's no rubbing shoulders with the fucking cops. All right? If you say you're paying the cops off, fuck you. All right? You're talking to them, you're dropping dimes, and you're paying them off as an excuse. Cops are not allowed to rub shoulders with outlaws. If I see somebody in a picture with cops, I stop fucking with them. Like I had a buddy back during the fucking the riots and shit, and we had an outreach program, and he had a picture with fucking Keith Ellison. He took pictures with Keith Ellison, the lead prosecutor in the state. Okay, I stopped fucking with him. I couldn't trust him. I could never trust him after I saw that picture. I didn't tell him shit after I saw that picture, and slowly I just quit fucking with him, and we're not friends anymore. But if I see you in a picture with a cop or a law enforcement official, that's some fucking crazy shit. All right, go hang out with the feds then. Go hang out with the cops then. Don't think you're coming back around here. I'm gonna start scanning the net and looking for you motherfuckers too, because we got another one here. If people don't know that, what was that guy's name? Skids. Hold on a second. That guy that said that the pagans work with the police.
Hey, this is Ken Shamrock.
All right, this guy Skids. This is the thumbnail right here, y'all. This dude right here, Skids. All right, this guy right here. Hold on. This guy. All right. He said that all the pagans work with the cops, which they do. I mean, they actually let cops into their club. Gorilla became the president of the pagans, and he was an actual Philadelphia police officer. Okay. All right. And then you wonder why all these fucking motorcycle clubs are getting busted. They're getting raided. All these people are telling on them because the fucking cops are infiltrated. All right. All right. So that's that one. Let's see what else we got going on around the horn. See what else we got going on. Big Sid. Anybody heard of that dude? That dude's a fucking clown. Absolute clown. He couldn't even post a single shred of paperwork. All right. So yeah, fuck Big Sid. I'm not gonna cover that dude very long, but they say he's on here and he's making a joke out of this. Why? I mean, why? Don't you have better shit to do with your time? Go find a purpose. Pretending to be a criminal and make fun of us by coming on here and fucking, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, man. Doesn't make any motherfucking sense to me. Come on here and act like you're a criminal, and then when people ask you to post your paperwork, he posts some stupid video where he's even posting paperwork. Like that shit might be funny to you clowns. You know what I mean? That might be funny to you clowns, but it's not funny. That's not funny. Big Sid's a fucking weirdo. He's probably a cop. He's probably a fucking actual police. He doesn't have any tattoos. Why doesn't Big Sid have any tattoos? And why is he missing his top teeth? Was he a fucking hockey player? Or what? Why is he missing his top teeth? Or is he just covering them like this the whole time? He just does this and puts a hat on. Puts a hat on down over his eyes. I don't get it, man. And you guys are promoting that shit. So let's go see what Big Sid had to say today. He couldn't post any paperwork because he doesn't have any. He's a Fed. So if you're on here acting like you're a criminal and I ask you for your fucking paperwork and you can't post it, I'm just assuming you're a Fed. Just so you know. I'm just assuming you're a Fed, and I'm allowed to assume that. All right. So I'm not going to play that stupid video again. That's whatever. What else did I say I was going to cover today? Oh, the shit that's happening in a minute. Oh, we got another stolen. Don Shipley's got a new one. Let's check out Don Shipley here real quick.
Are you still suffering to hit your protein goals? Factor makes hitting your
good old Don Shipley
and actually delicious.
Here's Don Shipley. He exposes fake Navy SEALs.
I was Navy, 81 to 85. I was in SEAL Team 4. I served combat experience. I was in Beirut in 1983 when the barracks blew up. We had to request permission. It had to go up the chain of command to put a bullet in a chamber and a rifle when we were getting shot at. It took time to go up the chain of command. And now it's a hair trigger, and these guys are locked and loaded with assault weapons.
So I got that video a few days ago, but it's an edited version. Somebody wants to know if it's real. The guy doesn't say his name in the one he sent me. And I just thought, man, that's bullshit. Well, people keep sending it and keep sending it. And somebody sent it, and the guy says his full name. James, he says Kelly Greg. His real name is James Kelly Gregg. And he's legit. He's legit. There's an interesting part to this story that goes right along with the Jesse Ventura thing that I put up. He graduated class 118 in July of 1982 and was assigned to Underwater Demolition Team 21. In the video, he says he was with SEAL Team 4. It changed to SEAL Team 4. Underwater demolitions teams went away, as I was talking about. An underwater demolition team turned into SEAL Team 4 at the time he was in Beirut. So in 1983, all the underwater demolition teams went away and they became new SEAL teams. We only had Team 1 and 2 SEAL teams. So Underwater Demolition Team 11 became SEAL Team 5. Underwater Demolition Team 12 became SEAL Delivery Vehicle Team 1. Underwater Demolition Team 21 became SEAL Team 4. Underwater Demolition Team 22 became SEAL Delivery Vehicle Team 2. And SEAL Team 3 was formed, but didn't form from any underwater demolition team. The UDT age was over. So while he was assigned to UDT 21.
So if people don't know who this is, go check him out. This is Don Shipley. Don Shipley, he does background checks to see if people are real Navy SEALs. All right, that's what Don Shipley does. He does it to see if they're real Navy SEALs. And he says that this guy is a real Navy SEAL.
And there it changed to SEAL Team 4 as it is today. He was deployed to Beirut. The crazy part of that story is that's why that bombing in the Beirut barracks bombing happened, because the guys weren't allowed to carry loaded guns. You know, whoever was in charge over there, and sure you wasn't a SEAL. They didn't want they didn't want any accidents. They didn't want any dumb shit happening over there. So on the side of caution, if that Marine that was guarding the gate to the embassy or the barracks in Beirut would have had a live weapon instead of an empty one, he'd probably stop that guy going through that gate, blowing it up, and save all those.
So if you guys are wondering what that is, that's a huge explosion, the aftermath of a huge explosion in Beirut. Beirut is in Lebanon. And yeah, that's Don Shipley. You guys go check his page out, man. Don Shipley's, that's the truth. So that's what I do over here. I'm the Stolen Valor page of the fucking Outlaw Chronicles, man. Like, if you are not a real outlaw, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to do the exact same thing that Don Shipley is doing, because this has been my life since I was 10 fucking years old. I don't take it lightly. I'm not over here playing. All right, so there's that. So far, we've covered the Pagans Motorcycle Club. I want to go over here and check out my boy from Insane Throttle. Insane Throttle. See what he's got going on. See what he's got going on. Insane Throttle. Satan's Choice MC response to mail order motorcycle club. Look at this, y'all. Is this tomorrow? Oh, shit. Look at that. Official response, Harley Gwendon. Satan's Choice MC response to mail order motorcycle club. What are you going to say, Harley? What are you going to come on here and say? Just let it go. Just let it go. Why are you coming on here and trying to explain yourself, Harley? You're a fucking piece of shit chomo. You're a fucking child molester, man. You rape girls at gunpoint. Young girls. You kidnap them and rape them at gunpoint. You think you have a voice? Only reason why he's bringing you on there, only reason why Hollywood's bringing you on there is to be fair. Because Hollywood's trying to be a fair journalist. But you're not coming back from the rape charges and the fact your dad is a chomo, Harley. Your dad is an actual child molester. He fucking gang raped a 14-year-old girl for 4 days. You don't get to rape a girl for 4 fucking days. A little tiny child, rape her for 4 days, and then start a motorcycle club. And then think nobody's going to say anything. Harley Gwendon, are you fucking kidding me? All right, so tomorrow we got over on Hollywood's page, Insane Throttle. We got Harley Gwendon. You guys go over there and then click in. He's going to say his reason He's going to say his bullshit excuses. It's always good when we get Harley talking, because when Harley talks, he tells on himself. I'm going to show you guys a video of a time that Harley told on himself. Harley Gwendon. I thought you would have gave up by now. And then you guys are acting like you're moving into Florida. You're acting like you're taking over Volusia County, Florida. No, you're not, dude. No, you guys aren't even riding around with your cuts on. I guarantee you, you guys don't even ride around Florida with your cuts on. I guarantee you. And if you do, there's like 3 or 4 of you. And nobody's going to do anything to you because they know you're feds. All right, let's look. I'm going to show you a video at the time Harley Gwendon tried to explain himself. So tomorrow's going to be good. You guys go tune in over there on Hollywood's page. Tune into Insane Throttle. Hollywood's a friend of mine. I've collabed with him before. Yeah. Let's get to Harley Gwendon, though. Tomorrow, he's going to be going on Insane Throttle and explaining himself. So everybody needs to go over there and check that shit out. Let's listen to what his fucking excuse is. When Harley makes excuses, he tells on himself. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. Your teeth begging you to put down the pookie? What does that mean? Huh? My teeth are begging me to put down the pookie? I don't even know what that means. I got perfect teeth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but I appreciate it though. All right. Let's go to Harley. It's a Harley. That's a Harley lover right there. They always troll my shit. Always. All right. The meth you buy. I'm not a biker. I'm not a biker. That's why I sit over here and comment the way that I do. I'm not a member of any club. I'm not a member of any gang. I'm nothing. I'm Flames motherfucking Trotter, Brandon Backus. That's my name. You can Google me. For everybody out here like, oh my God, Google me and you can find out who I am. Brandon Gilbert Backus. All right. All right. This is Harley Gwendon when the last time he tried to explain himself. This is Harley. This is Harley when he tries to explain himself. So tomorrow is going to be awesome. Tomorrow is going to be awesome. Harley, I know you're watching this, man. You might want to be careful what you say. Send in a pre-recorded tape, Harley. Be smart. Don't be a retard. Because when you come on and try to do interviews, you tell on yourself. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't have a problem with military vets. I don't like cops. All right, this is Harley Gwendon when he admitted that he raped a girl at gunpoint.
Yo, this is Harley Gwendon on the Chatting with Stack show, admitting that he had oral sex with a female at gunpoint in his 2005 rape case.
I'm not about me working with police ever.
And then they try to use the charge from 2005.
The one that was thrown out, okay, that I was apologized for publicly by the alleged
He posted fake text messages.
victim. All it was, got a BJ, put my gun on the sink.
You got a BJ and you put your gun on the sink?
Had sex with the girl 200 times. Okay, it was nothing
200 times, huh?
like that. It was a homicide wiretap that tapped into an argument that was going on between alleged victim, alleged brother, that led to another argument that said that there was even something that even happened. And because there was anything that was sexual going on, they laid that charge, and then it was thrown out. And she said, even in the transcripts, it was not.
It wasn't thrown out. You pled guilty to assaulting her and kidnapping her.
It's so funny when you watch these people try to explain themselves, how their face changes. He's talking like this. Like, look at his eyes. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. He's trying to explain himself. Harley, you're a fucking piece of shit chomo, man. You're a piece of shit fucking chomo. You didn't beat up 41 people. All right. Donnie Wantz showed up. Dude, you wouldn't even come outside. Harley, there was another man standing outside your place of business calling you out, calling you all kinds of fucking names. I don't care who was around. There's cops everywhere. That's not an excuse. There was a man standing outside your place of business, arguably where you live too, right? Because you probably do with your broke ass. You pretend you're rich and you got all this shit, but all your money is into that fucking Lamborghini. You don't have any fucking money. You can't even take care of your own kids. So you're sitting up in your fucking place of business where you live, and a guy shows up to fight you, and you won't even come outside. Harley, you didn't even come outside. And then you said you didn't want to come out because it was snowy. What the fuck are you talking about? Little kids, 10-year-old kids go fight in the snow after school. 10-year-old kids will go beat the shit out of each other in the snow. Whoever loses gets whitewashed. I'm from Minnesota, so fights in the snow. We fight in the snow. Snow on the ground is not an excuse not to step outside and fight, Harley. And you know that because you're from Canada. You're just a fucking pussy. Just a fucking coward-ass pussy. Now I'm on this Harley Gwendon kick. He thinks he's going to go on there and explain himself, huh? All right. Hollywood, if you're watching this, man, you better put the screws to him. Don't give that dude no quarter. He don't deserve a fair trial. Not at all. He don't deserve a fair trial. I'm surprised you're even letting him come on and say anything, Hollywood, but you got to maintain what you got to maintain. I don't do that shit over here. You don't get a fair fight over here. You don't get a fair fight over here. If you're a piece of shit, you're just a piece of shit. You're not coming on here and telling your side of the story, none of that gay shit. Because to me, it's gay shit. I like you, Hollywood. I do, but I don't see why you're giving that dude a voice. So I need the unedited version of that, Hollywood. If you're watching this, I need the unedited version of that when he's done. Because I know he's going to fuck up again and tell on himself again. So let's go look at Harley Gwendon. I'm going to show you this guy. All right. Let me show you guys Harley Gwendon. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Looking up some shit on Harley Gwendon. Harley Gwendon. All right, let me see here. Hold on. All right. So let's go back to Harley Gwendon here.
Yo, this is Harley Gwendon on the Chatting with Stack show, admitting that he had oral sex with a female at gunpoint in his 2005 rape case.
Not about me working with police ever.
And then they try to use the charge from 2005.
The one that was thrown out, okay, that I was apologized for publicly by the alleged
He posted fake text messages.
victim. All it was, got a BJ, put my gun on the sink.
So that statement alone, Harley, that statement alone, you raped somebody. You had a gun in your hand and you got a BJ. All right. If you are getting a BJ with a gun in your hand, that's called a BJ at gunpoint. And if you are getting a blowjob at gunpoint, you're a fucking rapist. Let me break that down for people again that don't understand how this works. That is his own words. That is Harley Gwendon's own words saying that he got his dick sucked at gunpoint. If you have ever had your dick sucked at gunpoint, you are a rapist. And that goes for anybody else out here that's watching, that doesn't know how this works. That's how it works. If you're bringing, if you are about to engage in a sexual encounter with a female, all right? Because that gay shit, I'm not speaking on that. That's fag shit. You guys go do that on your own time. But if you are engaging in a sexual like situation with a female, that is an intimate situation where you don't bring a gun. Don't bring a gun to make out with a female. All right? Don't bring a gun. What do you need the gun for? A gun is for protection or to fucking make somebody do what you say. All right? The reason why you had a gun in your hand when you were getting a BJ is because you raped her. So don't get on here and try to explain it away. That's what you did. So from now on, Harley, I hope you're coming on here and trying to tell everybody why you did what you did and try to apologize to the victim. Don't come on here and try to explain it away because it's not going away. All right. So this is tomorrow. Tomorrow, Harley Gwendon is going to have an official response. All right. Well, yeah. It's probably pre-recorded and you know what I mean? But tomorrow he's going to come on here and respond to the motorcycle, to the mail order club allegations. So that's a mail order club. If you have a Satan's Choice patch on, it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. If you have a Satan's Choice patch on in the United States of America, doesn't mean a goddamn thing. The only thing it does mean is that you are cool with rapists and child molesters. That is what it means. It is Chomo's choice. All right, so that's what I'm going to show y'all. This is a Harley Gwendon page. This is one of the only ones I'm not blocked from. All right, so let's see what they got going on.
This glass, this ghetto kid just comes in and grabs some noodle. They got everything. I've never tried it before. Get a steak that's on the floor. Get a steak that's on the floor. Yeah, he's had his eggs. First class, this ghetto kid just comes in and grabs some noodle. They got everything. I've never tried it before. Get a steak on the floor. Get a steak that's on the floor. Get a steak that's on the floor.
So the next lie that Harley's trying to push is that he's going to Korea. That he's bringing the Satan's Choice to Korea. Okay, go ahead, bring that shit to Korea. We don't want that shit in the United States. You notice he's flying everywhere except for here. He ain't came to the United States. You know why he hasn't come to the United States? Because he's a fucking pussy. And we don't want this Satan's Choice in the United States. So you're gonna go to Korea? Go to Korea. After you're done, go to Bangladesh, motherfucker. They might need a chapter in Bangladesh, but you're not bringing one to the United States. Okay? Go ahead, bring a chapter. Where did he say? He said he's bringing one to Korea. Oh, my fucking God, dude. Listen.
Well, I'm just loving life. I just got through the security line, brought me into this office, and then just told me that I'm not allowed back in the country. I said, why? And they said, basically, you're just not welcome here. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'd like to thank the stalkers for reporting Bermuda. Well, I'm just loving life. I just got through the security line, brought me into this office, and then just told me that I'm not allowed back in the country. I said, why? And they said, basically, you're just not welcome here. It's unbelievable.
All right, let's find out what this is. He says that they just said he's not welcome. They're not letting him into Antigua. Goes around, comes around. See the comment below. So he couldn't get into Antigua. So while you guys are all working hard at your fucking 9-to-5 jobs and sending this guy $2,400 a year to be a part of his club, he's going to Antigua and Korea. He's traveling around the fucking world. You know why? Because the feds are paying for it. Harley doesn't have any fucking money. Come on, man. Harley doesn't have any money. Come on. Nobody is fucking with this dude. The only people that are fucking with him are other rapists. All right, so come on. Let's see what else this guy has to lie about. Let's see what else Harley has to lie about. Hold on. We're going to look up some high kicks. Hold on. All right. And I put that Cash App down there too, man. That's my wife's Cash App. It says Little Miss 333. I'm not begging for donations though, man. If you guys want to send me a couple dollars to help me pay some bills, I appreciate you. But I'm not begging for it. I'm only saying that because people have been asking me. And that's my wife's Cash App. It's Little Miss 333 at gmail.com. She pays the bills. So yeah. All right. What else we got here? We got all these Satan's Choice videos. All they do is clown this guy on the internet all fucking day long. All they do is clown Harley Gwendon. He's a fucking fag. Let's watch this one.
About a week ago, HA came in. I had to throw it. I called him some names.
in like a man.
Yeah.
We handled it. Didn't do so well, but at least he showed up. So I give him credit. I'll X it out.
Right.
And you can take it as disrespect or you can not. I don't give a shit what you think. I
Right.
mean, good luck.
But you're easy to find. Everyone
I'm very
knows.
easy to find where I am every day.
Right. No worries at all.
I don't give two shits
No.
what happened. So this tattoo I got in the penitentiary, Collins Bay, and they got finished in J Unit Maximum Security, which I got kicked.
Notice how they're two different shades. All right. That's street work. That could be prison work or it could be your cousin's basement. I don't fucking know. But you definitely did not beat up 41 people. Harley, you definitely did not beat up 41 people. So why don't you acknowledge that? Why don't you talk about that? Come on the internet and tell everybody about your fucking motorcycle club. All right. Tell everybody how they can become a member, because all you have to do to become a Satan's Choice member is pay $2,400 a month. That's all you have to do. Harley, you're a fucking clown. I can't wait to hear what your response is tomorrow. I can't wait to hear what your fucking response is. How do you respond to that? We have so many screenshots of people you ripped off. Like, look, if you are riding a motorcycle and you send your money into Harley Gwendon to be a part of the Chomo's Choice, just know that everyone's going to assume you're a Chomo. All right? Everyone's going to assume that you're a Chomo too. All right, so that's what we got. Big Sid, fuck Big Sid. That dude's a clown. He's not even a real channel, just like I thought. Yeah, so that's fine. Go ahead and come on here and fucking make comedy out of people dying and fucking, yeah, because that's what you're doing, Sid. That's what you're doing. You're coming out here making a joke out of this shit. All right, what else we got? Listen to this shit. Trying to help a friend reach 4,000 subscribers. Please like. Yeah, I'll beat the fuck out of Sid. Trying to help a friend reach 4,000 subscribers. Please like and subscribe. It's a refreshing breath of fresh air from all the drama. What the fuck is that shit? That is how people get subscribers on this shit. And that's something I refuse to do. All right, that's something I refuse to do. I'll beat the fuck out of Sid. See, I don't think you guys get it, man. I'm not just on here doing some stupid little podcast. The only reason why I'm doing this now is because people pissed me off and now I'm not stopping. Once you get me going, I don't stop. You got to kill me. You have to kill me. I'm not stopping. You motherfuckers got me going. Now you got to deal with me. All right? But I'm the realest motherfucker on here. I'm the realest motherfucker on here. I'm the only one that posted paperwork from when I was 12 years old. You show me another podcaster that showed his fucking entire BCA report from when he was a child. Nobody has done that. Nobody has posted their entire fucking paperwork. So I don't know what anybody has to say. Get fucked. And if you want some smoke, come find it. I got no problem fighting Sid. I'll beat the fuck out of his weird ass. I'll knock his bottom row of teeth out. Tell him I said that too. He's over there clowning and trying to... Like, there's nothing funny about this shit. There's people dying. There's people in these motherfucking streets that don't have to die that are going to die tonight from drug addiction, from homelessness, from being stuck in this fucking system. And this dude's over there making a joke about it. He's clowning about it. He's pretending to be a drug addict and everyone thinks it's funny. That's not funny. People are fucking dying out here. Every day people are dying out here. And all you people that are laughing, one of your fucking kids is going to end up being one of them. Because that's how life works. That's how life works. I bet you if your kids were out there all fucking strung out on fentanyl, you wouldn't think it's so fucking funny. And to everybody who knows Big Sid is on here joking around, fuck you too. You think that shit is funny? You think that shit is funny? All right, so let's check this page out. This dude thought I was off his neck. I'm not off his neck. W Number Podcast.
Riverside. One touch.
Okay.
So this dude right here on the left. Right here on the left. Maddie from W Number Podcast. He hit a fucking woman in the head with a baseball bat. All right, he smashed a woman right in the fucking face with a baseball bat in front of her children. in front of her children. Okay? Yeah, exactly. He smashed a girl in front. He smashed her in the fucking face. Not only did he hit her in the face with a baseball bat, all right, it wasn't a gun, motherfucker. It was a baseball bat. That's what the paperwork said. It was a baseball bat. You can't say it was a gun now. It wasn't a gun. It was a baseball bat. You hit a fucking woman in the face with a baseball bat. All right, this guy. Now let's listen to what they got to say.
Again, welcome back to the W number. We got a hit squad in here tonight. My man Savage Seb, all the way from Denver, Colorado, in the house, dude.
I just want to point out that all these guys look like dorks. Look at this fucking. Obviously, he's a dork. Look at this guy. Dork. 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 You guys seeing what? You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Only dorks hang out with other dorks. Let's keep going.
They calling him the voice of Denver up in here, man. So now we got
Colorado, the whole state, voice of Colorado.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay then. And so we have a Milwaukee guy the other day, and then we got a Denver guy. So we're opening up the platform, getting some voices from around the country. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. So Seth, man, why don't you give us a little introduction, who you are and where you come from and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. To everybody, I see a lot of people. Salute to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, born in Denver, Colorado, man, and just from East Denver, they call it the Nickel, the 5 Points area. You know, just a project baby, bro. And I grew up around generational gangbanging and different things, and you know, went down the wrong path, and you know, went to the penitentiary and kind of just went down that road, and we just on a whole different mission to try to, you know, open eyes to people, definitely.
So, like, what kind of led you down that road? Where, like, obviously you grew up in the projects. We know what the project is like. I live in the projects. Billy grew up in the project.
Here we go, right there. That's fucking W number says that he grew up in the projects. No, you did not grow up in the projects. You're from Cape Cod. You are from Cape Cod. You're a rich kid, Maddie. Don't come on here. See, this is why you can't listen to these motherfuckers, man. Check this out. Check this out. Looking up Cape Cod, Massachusetts. All right. It's a beautiful fucking area. All right. Listen, look at this. Matthew is from Cape Cod. Space. Chew. Matthew Tottingham is from Cape Cod, bro. He's from Cape Cod. Cape Cod is one giant beach. Okay? That's where he's from. All right? Yeah, and Ronnie, I mean, this is what I will say about Ronnie. Right? This is what I will say about Ronnie. Ronnie ain't on here talking tough no more. I don't think he ever really was, but he's not on here talking tough and this and that. He just comes on here and interviews people, whatever. All right? Ronnie admits he's never been in trouble before. And one of the first things Ronnie ever told me is that he's never really been in trouble and his uncle was in the mob, which is whatever. I don't care. I don't know. I don't even know why he told me his uncle was in the mob. I don't care. But yeah, so Ronnie came out and said that to me. This guy, Matthew Tottingham, still acts like he's a gangster. Look, man, you went to prison. W number. You went to prison for beating up a woman with a baseball bat. Why do you need a baseball bat to beat up a woman? Are you that big of a pussy? It'd be one thing if we were on here talking about you punched her in the nose or something like that, which is still fucked up because you shouldn't even have did the home invasion to begin with. There were kids and there was women and children in the home. If you do a home invasion where there's women and children present and you knew there were women in, first of all, you're supposed to do your reconnaissance. You have to do your reconnaissance. You have to watch the fucking house for a couple weeks. That's what I'm saying. That's where he's from. He's from Cape Cod. He's not from the projects. But I'm going to talk about home invasions. First of all, like I always say, don't commit crimes and don't hang out with people that commit crimes. All right? Don't. Just fucking don't. The streets are dead. They'll lock you up for 23 and 1. And when you go to a real prison, you're going to be doing real time. 23 and 1 in Minnesota right now. Rush City is still 23 and 1. For years, ever since fucking COVID, Rush City has been 23 and 1. And if you go to Rush, because Stillwater's closing, so you're going to Rush City. All right? So don't commit crimes. But if you do it by yourself. And if you're going to do a home invasion, you have to case the building. Don't just go to the building and go do a home invasion, you dumb fuck. You have to case the building, which I know they already did. They already had the building cased. They knew that there was women and children in there. And if there are women and kids in that fucking home, do not kick that door. I don't care how much money you're going to get. I don't care what they did to you. Find a different way. Wait till the kids go to school. Do something to get the kids out of there. And then you hit it. If you have to. Again, I'm not saying commit crimes. But if you're going to do it right. Okay? Because if you do a home invasion and there's children and women in that fucking house, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. And his brother has kids on his case. They both got hit with the same case, and his brother took a different plea deal for the child abuse charge. All right? So they have child abuse on their fucking case. If you go to prison with a child abuse, you're no good. Listen to what I'm saying. You're no good. Maddie is no good. All right, so let's listen to some more of this shit. And witness, everybody on this fucking podcast, in my eyes, is no good. Anybody who goes on the W Number podcast knowing that he beat up a woman in front of her kids is no good.
I've lived in the project. My man lived in the project a couple of times. Like, we all know what the projects are like. And for me, it's kind of like it's like a close neighborhood. I feel really at home there because it's like the closest thing to prison on the streets is you're going to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've all, for whatever reason, for me, I've always felt like most comfortable and like safe in the projects. Like, I've been in every project in Boston. I've been there when I was the only white kid in the project.
Word. So what was it like out there in your projects, bro?
Well, I got a story like a lot of people's story. My mom, single mom, pops, he was when I was young, bro, that fool went to prison. Like, he was just institutionalized with the penitentiary and kind of all the.
I bet you $50. No, that's a different dude. That's a different Maddie. I shouldn't even call this dude Maddie. He calls himself Maddie. I only got one Maddie. That's my friend. And my friend is Maddie Boy. And I don't get why this guy calls himself Maddie. Irish motherfuckers named Matthew can call themselves Maddie. But this guy, we don't claim this dude. We don't claim any of these guys. Just so you guys know. We don't claim any of these guys. You guys are all fucking guilty by association at this point. You guys are all on a podcast with a guy that fucking cracked a bitch in the head with a baseball bat. He cracked a fucking female in the face with a baseball bat. That's in the paperwork. That's not what he said. All right? Ran up in her house and cracked her. He didn't like it. Look, he ran up in her house. This is a woman in her own home with her children. She was in her own home. Yeah, no, you're right, Chew. Think about it, though. This lady was in her home with her children. And her husband, or whatever, presumably. I think there was a guy there, too. But they ran up in her house and hit her with a baseball bat. A fucking woman in the house with her kids. Anybody who fucks with Maddie is no good. No good. Let's continue.
The males in my family, generational, bro. They all were in the penitentiary. So it was kind of the norm for the males. Like, I remember people telling me, homie, you gonna go to prison because everybody in the family goes to the penitentiary. Bro, mom, she's on the block, and where our block is, it's like 2,600, homie. That's 27 in Arapahoe, and that's the dead of the east side, like the projects. My family owned the corner store, homie, and you come outside, right? There's a couple Spanish families.
All right, let's stop right there. He just got done saying that He just got done saying that he was living in the projects, but his family owned the corner store. So let me get this straight, dude. What's this guy's name? This is fun. Let me get this straight. So you were in the projects. This guy, you don't even say what his name is. What a terrible fucking Savage Sev, going hard for his gang, got him shot and in prison. So this guy named Savage Sev, whatever the fuck that is, came on here and said that he was in the projects. He grew up in the projects, but then he said his family owned the corner store. How in the fuck are you living in the projects, but your family owns a corner store? How's that work? I'm pretty sure they do a background check to make sure that you're not working in order to live in the projects. So how are you living in the projects? And see, Maddie's not going to ask him that because they're all fucking pieces of shit. All right, let's keep listening to this fag. So far, he's this guy right here, Savage Sev. Savage Sev is on the W Number podcast with Matty Boy, the guy that likes to smack bitches in the head with baseball bats. And he said he grew up in the projects, but he owned a corner store.
Now I'm Spanish, but majority of the whole points, if you know anything about the nickel, it's a big African American neighborhood. So we got a bigger Spanish family, but it's just more African Americans everywhere around the neighborhood. You come out and automatically, bro, you have to fight for that shit because they're the Mexicanos. Like these fools are Mexicanos in the hood, and you're gonna have to fight for that shit. So we were always fighting, bro. And not having that love from Pops, bro, that kind of just like stirred me to go.
Hold on, does this dude got his fucking sleeves rolled up? Hold on. Hold on. It might seem petty. Yeah, dude. No, you don't. Why do you got your fucking sleeves rolled up for? Hold on.
Literally, I'm hitting the homies up the block, bro, and then I go into
Hold on.
all the homies, my young
homies.
and my little cousins. I said, hey,
My little cousins, homie, everybody.
Because like now it got to another situation. And for a minute there, bro, like we have a lot of partners that call murder cases and do a life sentences for body and shit, chip and shit. I got little homies that were 14, caught a juvenile, not juvenile, but got caught up and then charged as an adult and got 50 plus years stretch. So the homies were tripping, bro. Like we were out there really tripping. And it was a dangerous game because even with that, like it went to mom's house, like mom's in the chat, but her house became a war zone, bro. Like we have mom's house. And literally, I'm hitting the homies up the block. Like, hey, somebody come.
Look, man, that dude's got his fucking sleeves rolled up. He's got his fucking sleeves rolled up. What the fuck is going on here, dude? Anyways, man. That's Maddie from the fucking W Number podcast. He likes to beat up bitch, go up in women's homes and beat them up while they're taking care of their kids. That's what Maddie does. So anyways, let's go back to this. See what else we got going on around the horn. All right. Hold on. See if we got other shit. I gotta address. Let me see here. All right, I want to talk about this guy real quick. This guy right here, this fucking clown. China Brim. This dude is a fucking super clown. He's like the Black 1090 Jake. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking clown. Look at that. Illuminati China 050. First of all, anybody who's actually Illuminati is not going to tell people they're Illuminati. All right? This is a textbook cop. All right? This is China Brim. This is the cop of the day. This is a textbook plant cop.
Together, like some of you niggas need to do. Let's go. Let's go. This shit,
This is this is like the Black Big Sid. That's what this is. This guy's like the Black Big Sid. This is China Brim. 1090 Jake put him on. So everybody knows he got put on by a Fed.
You see little, what's his name? Fireskate Zippy. Salute the Fireskate Zippy. He tearing the YouTube up. Our China Brim was on a vacation. I was making uploads, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about money. I was thinking about progressing. You know?
This is the type of shit Big Sid was doing, huh?
I had the whole 050 was like, yo, we need you. We need a show. All right, y'all got a show.
Oh, hand me, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. Mushy, mushy.
All right, I'm sorry about that. I walked away at that point. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. The most hated podcast on YouTube, Dark Side Call In. I might call that dude and fucking clown him.
Numbers, I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? Salute to Jace. Let me give Jace his what's name. I gotta talk to y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all.
This is a circus clown, all right? Just so everybody knows, this is exactly what a fucking black circus clown looks like. He's even got the stupid hat on. He's got the hat on like a rodeo clown.
I gotta talk to y'all, right? Like I said, they will let certain platforms get to where they gotta go. But niggas like China Brim and other platforms who is more direct, who ain't scared to say what they want to say, they play with our numbers. They try to. So that's the reason I can't go live. But today we gonna light it up. I'm letting they listen. Look, I forgot the word of it. The link is on top. You wanna pull up? Y'all got anything to say? Y'all wanna clear anything? Y'all able to. Listen, there's a lot of content been going around. Salute to the dirty sector. Salute to Keisha, Ghostface Keisha. Salute to E. Free Wax AP.
I don't know what the fuck this dude's talking about, but I just wanted to show everybody. Yeah, me and Big Sid got a fight, man. Me and Big Sid. Big Sid, I'm gonna knock his bottom row of teeth out, man. Yeah, Big Sid. Better fucking get his shit together. I hope he's hitting the gym. Big Sid, you better be hitting the gym. I'm a fuck. Big Sid ain't even a real person, man. Big Sid ain't even a real person. All right, so let's go around the horn. Let's see what else we got going on. So that's China Brim. China Brim's a fucking joke. Over the top fucking clown. Adam Calhoun, he says he's leaving, says he's not, says he's leaving, says he's not. Dubs. Why the fuck is this guy commenting? All right, let's talk about Dubs real quick.
This is Cocoa Culver.
Why is this guy commenting over here?
Fresh frozen custard blended with rich cocoa, topped with whipped.
What's cracking there?
I'm going to start doing this, y'all. When I got y'all on here, I'm going to start going around the horn and looking at motherfuckers, looking at their shit. This is Dubs right here. So this guy right here is a La M.A. debriefer. He snitched on the Mexican mafia. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Buddy, welcome back to the channel. New video. This is going to be another off the wall, more personal video. We're not necessarily going to be reacting to anything. We're just going to be talking, shooting the breeze. So, excuse me, damn, that's 3 videos today I burped in. What's going on? Anyways, I looked up the oldest video that I have up of Wes Watson. It's not the first video I did, because in the past I didn't know. I would do a video, and then after it like slowed down on getting views, I would delete it. I thought, why keep it up? Jackass, right? And the oldest one I have, and if you guys want me to, I'll react to my reaction of this video. And it was published on October 9th, 2020.
Hold on. Stop. So wait, does he really have a crowd? Are people that fucking stupid where somebody wants you to react to your own reaction? Is that a thing? Somebody let me know if I'm the retarded one. But react to your own reaction? And why are you talking about Wes Watson all the fucking time? Why don't you find somebody else to pick on? Because Wes Watson would kick your fucking face in. Dubs, he would fucking beat the shit out of you, bro. All you guys talking shit about Wes Watson when he's the only one that's really beating people up and whooping shit right now in the YouTube. Yada. Wes Watson, he beat the fuck out of that dude. He almost killed him. And you guys want to run your mouth about him. That shit's hilarious. And again, Wes Watson is going to get probation. Wes Watson is not going to prison for that, okay? All right? He's going to take a deal at the box. They're going to give him probation and maybe a year in jail. And they're going to give him an opportunity to do it on house arrest. So he's going to end up getting house arrest. He didn't get caught with a gun. Boosie got caught with a gun and didn't even do a day in jail. All right, so come on, let's go. We're listening to La M.A. Dropout Dubs. He snitched on the Mexican mafia, and now he thinks he can come on here and talk shit about other people.
So we're going on 6 years. We're headed towards 6 years I've been reacting to this guy. And, when he came into this space, he was kind of like the only one. Now, there were other dudes, but not along the lines of him, And what has followed Wes is guys that actually paid for his program or try to pattern themselves off of him.
So if you're making money off of reacting to him, he said he's been reacting to this guy. Yeah, exactly. That's why he got beat up. Yeah, it's exactly. Wes did what he had to do. Yeah, the guy went up there. He wanted to fight. He got beat the fuck up. That's what happened. Exactly. That is what happened right there, Morning Wood. That is exactly what happened. That's a decent name, too. Sound like a stand-up guy. So, but that's what we're dealing with. So for 6 fucking years, this guy's been reacting to Wes Watson by his own words. And then he talks shit about people following him. But if all you're doing is reacting to Wes Watson, like I see a lot of you motherfuckers, all you guys ever talk about is Wes Watson. You guys are gay for the guy. For 6 years, 6 years you've been covering this guy. You're gay for him, Dubs. Like really. Every fucking day I see a video on your page about Wes Watson. when we both know you wouldn't say it to his face. None of you guys who talk shit about Wes Watson would say it to his face. The only person that went up to his gym and said it to his face got their face caved in. All right, let's continue.
You know, when Wes first came out, I had fun making fun of his stories, you know, knowing that he was saying he went to prison for 10 years. And I never understood. I've never, ever understood why it's so important to him in his mind that he has to have been down 10 years and he has to be 6 foot tall. Neither are true. He wasn't even sentenced to 10 years. He was sentenced to less than 10 years.
All right, so we're not listening to Dubs tell us about Wes Watson's paperwork. But you guys see this? You guys see how fucking funny this is? Dubs is a Mexican mafia dropout fucking piece of shit. He didn't just drop out, he PC'd up, and he told him he was afraid to be transported with him, so he had to be kept separate. All right, that's Dubs. Let's see what else we got going on around here. Let's see what else we got going on around here. Let's go check out Vegas Profile Stories. See what they got going on. How many people are still bumping Vegas Profile Stories? You guys going over there and donating? Oh, big updates. Look at this. Look at this. Big updates on Bakersfield Hell's Angel trial. Harley gets denied entrance at airport. Look at this. Look. This is Vegas Profile Stories, and his thumbnail is a bunch of Hell's Angels. Bakersfield case heating up. So I'm going to let you guys know a little something about this guy. Anybody who hasn't seen this yet. Check this out. This is him admitting he works with the feds.
A paid informant working in the tattoo shop and a Fed. And the Fed was like, I had a video taken down over that because the Fed was in the back smoking by himself, smoking dope. And they caught it on camera. So I put his name and the footage of him doing that. The only problem is he's currently an undercover DEA agent. so they pulled that video down so fast. And then I blurred his face and his name. I muted out, and the feds had this dude Bones get a hold of me because Bones was the informant who I knew. I knew Bones before he became an informant. So they had Bones get a hold of me on Instagram, like, how much you want to not put that out again? I was like, and I had just started YouTube. I was like $2,000, right? Just threw a huge number. He's like, what's your Cash App? My Cash App rang. Boom, $2,000. I was like, fuck.
You guys see that? Okay. That is textbook working for feds. And that's his own words admitting that he works with the feds. Okay. So nobody is sending him information about what's going on in their outlaw motorcycle group right now. So anybody who goes over there and keeps sending donations, and he just admitted that he worked with the feds. All right. He said that the police paid him $2,000 to take down a video that was exposing a federal officer. So what he's admitting is that he just posts shit and then he'll take it down if he's paid. But he's protecting the police. He's protecting the identity of a fucking undercover police officer. I don't believe any of this ever happened. I'm just keeping it real with you. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. But listen to how he explains working with the feds. All right? I'm going to play this again. And if you guys have seen this, see it again. This is Ricky from Vegas Profile Stories. Jerry Childress. All right? And he admits that he works with the feds, dude. All right? He has him on speed dial.
A paid informant working in the tattoo shop and a Fed. And the Fed was like, I had a video taken down over that because the Fed was in the back smoking by himself, smoking dope, and they caught it on camera. So I put his name and the footage of him doing that. The only problem is he's currently an undercover DEA agent. so that means he's currently an undercover DEA agent. so he's currently an undercover DEA agent. He's currently an undercover DEA agent. He's currently an undercover DEA agent. so they pulled that video down so fast, and then I blurred his face and his name. He's currently an undercover DEA agent. so they pulled that video down so fast, and then I blurred his face. And
so not only did he pay, let me see this. Paid bribe from the pigs, but he doesn't say if he gave. That's rat shit. That's not, it's rat shit. That's rat shit. That's what I'm saying with these people. No, it's fine, Frank. You're good. That's rat shit. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The days of like working with the cops, paying them off, so he just let all the bikers get popped. Yes. There you go. That's exactly what's going on here. He's protecting the identity of an undercover police officer. At the same time, he's accepting information from outlaw motorcycle groups. That's a rat. That's a rat. How are you protecting an undercover police officer, but you're not a rat? Explain that to me. How does that work? He accepted payment from a federal fucking government agency so they could protect one of his fucking one of their undercovers. He blurred his name out. He blurred his name out. He blurred his face out. Come on. Make it make sense. That you can't do that. That's not, no. Are you fucking kidding me? No, it doesn't work that way. Anybody who thinks it works that way, you don't know shit. These are his own fucking words too. Everybody thought I was lying. Now check this one out. He says that he got popped for a robbery. Oh my fucking God. Look at this guy. Hold on. Hold on.
Like when the rain.
Look at this. Look at this. This is a fucking joke to everybody, huh? This is Packy Vision, and he brings on a guy who's got his face painted.
Shows up after the rainfall. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, look what somebody else just said. Juan Gomez, Chicago Pizza, New York.
So
I
let's
know
get
what you're talking about. Not everybody know what that means. Yeah, go ahead and explain.
What in the actual fuck? Wow, dude. You guys don't have any self-respect. This fucking genre is just in the shit. Look at that shit. Look at this one. Interview with Zombies Are Hungry. And the guy comes on with his fucking face painted. Wow. All right, let's get to this real quick. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'll be on to Crash Ricky's show later. I'll be on at 10. I'm coming on. When they come on, I'm coming on. And then I'm going to stream their shit over on mine, and I'm going to react to it live. So you guys know what's real. All right, listen to Ricky here explaining how he beat first of all, I want to show people this right here. Okay, so this right here is Ricky. Ricky's down here. That's Mile High Hustle, Conrad. And that's fucking Fetters Grove, free from Fetters Grove. He changed his name. Look, I got this motherfucker to have to take down all his videos, and he changed his name. Anyways, so he's Fetters Grove now. This guy is a Nazi lowrider rat. He snitched on the Nazi lowriders because he was getting extorted. Told about a fucking murder and got early release. This guy's Mile High Hustle. He fucking snitched to the ATF on his own kid. Let him come in the house. They didn't even have a warrant. And this is a video I got on this dude, Mile High Hustle. where he admits that the fucking ATF came in his home. And then we got Ricky. These are all feds. All right? It's the first thing I wanted to show y'all. The feds stick together. All right, now let's go back.
Yo, this is Ricky.
I'm going to show you guys the video where Ricky talks about the cop dog. I have to keep reiterating this for people so people know who the fuck they're dealing with. All right? He says that he got popped in a robbery, but they threw out the robbery charge because the cop dog wasn't allowed to smell weed. Listen to this, y'all. I'll be on later to crash his show, too. Don't worry about it.
This is Ricky from Vegas Profile Stories. As he continues to try to explain away the ghost gun that he never got charged for. Now he says he got hit with a robbery, and the reason they had to throw the robbery out is because the K9 that searched his vehicle was not trained to smell weed.
They take everything they say, oh, well, we got evidence, there's a mask, all this, right? Well, the dog, all they find is weed. The dog isn't certified to smell weed. So we got all the evidence thrown out because the dog wasn't certified to smell weed. And that's all they found in there is weed. The dog isn't certified to smell weed. So we got all the evidence thrown out because that dog wasn't certified to smell weed. That's all they found in there.
You guys listen to this shit?
Is weed. The dog isn't certified to smell weed. So we got all the evidence thrown out because that dog wasn't certified to smell weed. And that's.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So, anyways, that's that video. Yeah, he said that he beat a robbery charge. The dog wasn't allowed to smell weed. Ricky, his real name is Jerry. All right. But the reason why I say Ricky on here is so you guys know who I'm talking about. He says he beat a robbery charge because the fucking dog wasn't allowed to smell weed, y'all. All right. And that's the same guy that's going to be coming on and trying to talk about the Hells Angels and shit. Look, there are no Hells Angels, no active. I know. That's the first thing they teach at K9 is to smell weed. I know. So, anyways, let's listen to another one. Hold on.
Yo.
I got another one. Listen, I got a bunch of these clips, dude. This dude is a fucking. Listen to this shit. Hey, this is when Breeze was eating boogers. He's trying to explain himself, trying to tell everybody how he's not a rat, and Breeze is over there eating boogers. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Yo, this is Ricky from Vegas Profile Stories. After he gets done trying to explain himself about a ghost gun that he got caught with anytime, and his buddy Breeze, the fucking Hell's Angel reject, is over here eating boogers.
Busted fools out. Did you just eat a booger?
Yo, this is Rick from Vegas Profile Stories. After he gets done trying to explain himself about a ghost gun that he got caught with but didn't do any time, and his buddy Breeze, the fucking Hell's Angel reject, is over here eating boogers.
Busted fools out. Did you just eat a booger?
All right, so he's eating boogers. Fucking, hold on, y'all. I got a whole bunch of these motherfuckers. Look at this one. Look at this one right here.
Because the upper is
the ghost gun law is a federal law, you piece of shit. Ghost guns are federally illegal.
Is legit, and then the bottom is made of a polymer. Okay, polymer 80s are absolutely legal in Colorado, and you have 90 days to serialize them. So it wasn't like
you are not allowed to manufacture your own weapons and not put serial numbers on them in the United States of America.
It was a ghost. It was built by a manufacturer, and you have 90 days after you take ownership of it to get it serialized. We just didn't have that 90 days. Brandon, had it for like 4 or 5 days, maybe at the most.
So again, he's on here admitting to possession of a ghost gun. Again, he is on here admitting to possession of a ghost gun. The feds could just pick it up and charge him right now, but they're not going to because he's a federal informant.
Yeah. And you can look up those laws in Colorado, Yeah.
Anyways, this guy's full of shit.
Because
You guys see that right there? He said he doesn't call him. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They think everyone's fucking retarded. They do. That's exactly what they do. They think everyone's fucking retarded. And then they come on here and they look, this is exactly what they do, y'all. Exactly what they do. That's why I ring the alarm about this. They come on here and they act like they're about that life and all this and that. And then people hit them up. People call them and people give them intel. People give them information. Okay. And then they get information back. And they take that information and they give it to the feds. All right. Everybody have a good night, man. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let the dogs out. And just be aware. Just be aware. I'll be back on later when these motherfuckers go live and I'm going to crash their show. So I want everybody to know that I'll be back on at 10. Peace.